What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a new video. I hope you're all doing well. Before we get into the battles and everything, if you didn't see my latest short, I just wanted to let you all know that I made it to Legend on the last day of Master League, and with it I made an appearance on the leaderboards at joint 210th in the world. So obviously I'm very happy about that, and I just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone who has supported the channel in its first few months. It's really motivated me to get to Legend as early as possible so I can make the spiciest content for you all, not worry about it. So if you're interested in the team that got me to Legend, it was in my last video and the link will be in the description. So let's get into this one anyway. We're taking a look at CARNIVINE. Yes, CARNIVINE in the Sinnoh Cup. To my knowledge, no one has ever featured this Pokemon in any league, so I'm very excited to show you these battles. It's actually not that bad, you know. It's a bit better than I thought it was going to be. Now, as you may know, CARNIVINE is a regional exclusive to the southeast of North America, so the only reason I can feature this is because I got one in a trade from a member of the local community. So a big shout out to Richard on that one. So as you may have seen, I did actually dump a load of rare candy into this just so I can make it, so please smash the like button if you haven't already. The moveset is really interesting. It's Vine Whip, Power Whip and Crunch. And the IVs for this one, it's a 9, 12, 5, so it's not the best, but it's not actually the worst. We're going to be pairing this up with two of the very big meta Pokemon in this league. So Drifblim on the lead, that's got Hex, Shadow Ball, Icy Wind as per usual. And that's a 0-14-6, so it's ranked 221, pretty good. And then we're going to have Lucario as the safe swap. This is a 10-13-14. And of course it's going to have Counter, Power Up Punch and Shadow Ball. That one's ranked 110, so that's actually pretty good IVs for the Great League as well. So we are using two of the strongest Pokemon in this meta, but CARNIVINE is ranked 56th in this cup in total, so it does need all the help it can get. So into the first battle, and we had a Cresselia on the lead, so that was really good for the Drifblim, and they made a swap out into their Empoleon, so we went straight into the CARNIVINE. Now we could have brought in the Lucario, but we decided to bring in CARNIVINE because we know that it's got a good matchup against Empoleon, and obviously it's going to be winning less across the board than Lucario, so it's best to keep that in the back. We did have to shield up the Drill Peck, but it's fine because we stayed in and farmed up a lot of energy. So now we've got some energy to go for what they bring in, which is a Shadow Drapion. So not the best, as it does resist both of the moves we can throw at it, but we're going to go for the Power Whip because obviously it's a powerful move and we're getting stab off it. They do respect it and shield it up, which is good for us, and we're able to actually get up to another Power Whip. So see how much this does. It does actually do a nice amount of damage, and as you can see, the CARNIVINE, it actually managed to take them Poison Stings quite comfortably from the Drapion, and actually put in quite a lot of work. So even though we've got the Lucario here for the Drapion, we didn't even need it really, so we're pretty much sacking the Lucario. We just need the Drifblim for the Cresselia, and we've already won this matchup. So as the Sinnoh Cup goes, very rock, paper, scissors. If you can maintain those good leads with even shields, then you're pretty much going to win the game. But CARNIVINE there, actually putting on quite a lot of pressure in the first battle, quite impressive actually. It does look very, very stupid, but it isn't actually useless, so that's quite good to see. So we're just going to take out this Cresselia here. Looks like we're just looking to farm them down because they're just wasting their time rather than backing out, and that's quite annoying. So we're just farming them down the whole way. And are they gonna, yeah, finally they decide to back out. So unfortunate for my opponent there, really. They weren't able to get out of that really bad lead that they had. So into the next battle against Stan, I think his name was. So very random name, and it's a Luxray on the lead, and that's really bad for the Drifblim. So we swapped into the Lucario and we're met with a Garchomp. So not particularly great. They're going to be doing super effective with the ground typing, but Garchomp in the Great League is very squishy. As you see, they did let the Power Up Punch go through, so that's going to give us the green light to actually shield this up, and we should be able to just counter them down before they get to another Sand Tomb. And now we're going to have loaded energy to go against whatever they bring back in, which is probably going to be the Drifblim. Now we do make a bit of a mistake here, because we just go straight for the Shadow Ball, when really we should be baiting here, because no doubt they're going to shield. Yeah, they do commit the shield, and if we were to go for the Power Up Punch, we would actually get to another Shadow Ball, so either way they would have used their shield, or they would have been forced to throw their energy against the Lucario. So now we're actually going to have to shield our own Drifblim, because they're definitely going to go for the Shadow Ball. It did actually lag out there a little bit, it looked like, so I'm not sure if they got through the Hex, but we're going to go for the Icy Wind now and see if they want to shield it up. They do commit the shield, so at least that's good, but we are looking in a bad spot now with just the CARNIVINE in the back. So we're going to see what the thing can do. So we're definitely going to be forced to eat an Icy Wind here, see how much damage this does against the Fly Trap. So not too bad, just over half is surviving, and they're bringing the Luxray and quickly get off their energy, which is terrible. We're not quite able to get up to the Power Whip before they get to a Psychic Fangs, and that's going to be a difference there. Maybe if we were able to get off our energy and take out the Luxray before they got that off, now we're way too low. They're definitely going to take us out. Yeah, so that was unfortunate there, and that all stemmed from not baiting there with the Power Up Punch, but there you go. Anyway, into the next one, we've got a Luxray on the lead again, so not very good for the Drifblim, like we've said, and we're going to swap into Lucario, and it's Cresselia that that comes in. So this isn't terrible because we can go for the Shadow Ball, which is going to be doing massive damage. They do commit a shield, which is really, really good. And I think we may actually let this go down now that they've committed the shields, because shields seem to be very valuable in this cup, especially. So we're going to let it go down, and then we're going to bring in the Drift Blim and farm up a lot of energy. So we're waiting out the switch timer, which I don't actually think is necessary in this situation, as we want to just be doing damage against the Cresselia. That's the time that you don't want to be waiting out the switch timer, is when you want to be doing some heavy fast move damage, especially against the thing that's locked in. But anyway, they swapped into Empoleon, so we're going to bring in the Carnivine. We're going to be able to shield up the Drill Peck and then farm up a lot of energy before we throw the Power Whip and take them out. So we're counting up to a 5. I think we're going to go the whole way, as I'm pretty sure that we can win CMP. We have got slightly higher attack than most of the Pokemon with optimized IVs. So therefore we're taking it out with the Power Whip and see what comes in now. Are they going to bring back in the Cresselia? They are. So that's fine. We're going to go for the Crunch. I'm not sure if they know that we've got the Crunch here. Let's see how much this does against the Cresselia. So it does put it quite low. Crunch isn't the best move, and we're not getting stabbed. So that is pretty good against Cresselia, to be honest. So we're going to be able to farm it down. We did commit the second shield because they had that Lux Ray in the back, so we need to really take this out with the Carnivine. We're going to go for a Crunch, and they do shield it up, but we did have a loaded Shadow Ball there, so really good that they shielded it up. We quickly swapped into the Drift Blim, hit it with the Shadow Ball, and then they got the Cresselia left, so we're easily going to be able to take that win. And we managed to take a win even though we lost the lead, so quite a rare thing in the Sinnoh Cup. So into the next one, we've got Gastrodon on the lead, so that's an absolutely amazing lead for the Drift Blim. They swap into Drapion, and we're going to come into the Lucario. As the counters are neutral, it's going to be doing a lot of damage, and we can take 2 Aqua Towels, I think, from the non-shadow Drapion. So we're going to go for a power up punch here, and they're not going to shield this up, I wouldn't have thought. And then we're probably going to look to counter them down once we've got the boosted counters. So we're going to let this second Aqua Towel go through as well. As you can see, we're just able to survive it, and the poison stings are not doing a lot of damage to us, as we are steel type and it's quite a weak move. Unfortunately, they are able to get up to another Aqua Towel before we're able to counter them down, but it's fine. We're now going to throw a boosted Shadow Ball into the Gastrodon. Do they want to shield it up? They don't shield it up, so it does a lot of damage. So they are saving 2 shields for whatever's in the back, and it's a Probo Pass, so not the best for Drift Blim, but we are able to get up to a Shadow Ball and threaten his shield before we swap out into the Carnivine. Thinking they are going to shield this up. Looks like that was a visual glitch there, because they didn't use a shield, but it didn't do any damage, but I'm pretty sure they did use a shield. Yeah, you can see there that they did use one, but we did let the Rock Slide go through. We're going to put all our chips on the Carnivine here, so we bring it in. We're going to let the first Rock Slide go through. We know we can take it, and then we're going to bait them with a Crunch. I'm really hoping that they're going to use a shield here and we get the defense drop. So see if they want to shield it up. They do, but we don't get the defense drop. That's fine. Now we're obviously going to use our last shield, and then we're going to go for the Power Whip and see if that's going to be enough to take out the Probo Pass. We'll be doing a lot of neutral damage, and because it is the Shadow version, we might be able to take it out. Let's see. It does take out the Probo Pass, and then the Gastrodon in the back, we're easily going to be able to Vine Whip that down before it does anything. So that was a good win there, even though we did have a really good lead with Gastrodon. And look who it is again. It's that little thing again. I don't even know what it's supposed to be. Someone enlighten me in the comments. Anyway, so they swapped into Licky Licky, and we brought in the Lucario, of course. We're going to go for the Power Up Punch now, and we're probably going to have to commit shield. Likely this thing is probably going to have, I think it's Shadow Ball, was it? Earthquake is the other powerful move that it has. So either way, we're going to have to shield it up, and it was the Shadow Ball. And we're able to counter them down. And now we're going to be able to go for a boosted Shadow Ball against the Gastrodon. So go for the Shadow Ball here and see if they want to shield this up. It will be doing a lot of damage to them, as we've seen. It does almost take them out. We're able to counter them down. So Lucario going absolutely mental here. And they got Magnezone in the back against the 2 remaining Pokemon. So we're going to bring in the Drift Blim and just go for the Icy Wind and debuff them. And this will be doing a lot of damage to them, even though it's resisted, because this is a Shadow Magnezone and it's just a complete squish pile. Yes, squish pile. You heard it here first. Anyway, so we go for another Icy Wind. They're already into the red, because like I say, it's just the ultimate glass cannon. Though saying that, I have been using Shadow Gallade as well, and that's even more squishy, so you'll be seeing that in a future video. Anyway, we let them take out the Drift Blim, and then we're just going to let this Wild Charge go through to see how much it does on the Carnivine, and it doesn't even do half health, and we're just winding whipping them down. So GG's to my opponent there, really unlucky with the lead. So into the next one against Deltoon Army. They've got Empoleon on the lead, so now we've got a bit of a neutral one, but I think this is one that Drift Blim can win. If they want to commit both their shields, then they can actually waterfall us down, I think. So we're going to go for the Shadow Ball straight away. And they do shield it up, so that's fine. And now we're able to get through a Hex, so that's really, really good. And we're going to shield up the Hydro Cannon. So then we're going to go for another Shadow Ball, and I think we make a mistake here. We do actually over farm too much, and we allow them to get through another Hydro Cannon. So we're going to actually let them take us out. A bit of a misplay there by me. So we come in with Lucario, and they instantly make a swap into Cresselia. So it's not particularly great. They robbed us of that farm there, but luckily they did bring Cresselia, which we do have an answer to in Carnivine, as we do have access to that crunch. So we go for the crunch here, see how much damage this is going to do against the tanky Cresselia. It does a nice chunk, so we still will be able to take them out with another one. Let's hope we can get up there before they get to another move, and we are able to get to another crunch. So we'll see if they want to commit their last shield. They're probably going to let it go through. They do. And now we're going to see what they've got in the back. So let's hope we can still pull something out of the bag with Carnivine. And it is actually a Drift Blim, so luckily we are able to get up to another crunch and threaten them. Are they going to commit their last shield here? This won't be taking them out. It'll be doing about 75%. And they do commit the shield there, so not sure if they realise that we still have the Lucario in the back, because a Shadow Ball will definitely be taking them out. Now we're expecting them to swap here, so we're over farming, and they do try and catch. So we're able to just farm down the Empoleon before they get to a move and throw the Shadow Ball now against the Drift Blim and take the win. So that was actually a really good battle. Oh, it's actually not taking them out. They actually survive with 1 HP and get off a move. I think even an Icy Wind's going to take us out, but I think, do we have some health left in the Carnivine? We do. So we Vine Whip down the Drift Blim and take the win. So that was a really good battle there. Just able to pull things back there after that misplay against the Empoleon at the start. So it was a really good battle. And the Carnivine again coming in clutch, actually taking out the Cresselia and getting the last shield for us. So that was a really good one, demonstrating what it can do. So into the next battle, it's another 1 lead against the Cresselia, and they're staying in, which is really interesting, which makes me think they may be weak to Drift Blim in the back. Maybe they've got a Gastrodon or something like that. So we go for the Shadow Ball, and they did shield it up. So they really don't want to see the Drift Blim with something in the back there. So we're definitely going to shield this one up. Farm up as much energy as we can. And then we're going to go for a Shadow Ball and be taking them out, hopefully. I don't want them to double shield, as that will be quite annoying. But they come in with an Empoleon, so now we're going to go for the Shadow Ball and threaten that last shield. Are they going to let this go through? It's going to do a lot of damage. They do let it go through, so we make an instant swap into Lucario to try and snipe them down, and they bring in Togekiss, so really interesting. We're going to go for the Shadow Ball, and likely they will shield this up, as it will be doing a lot of damage to them. They do shield it up, so we're looking in a sticky spot now. We've not got enough health on the Drift Blim to get to an Icy Wind, I don't think. Then we have the Carnivine in the back, which obviously is going to be doing resisted damage against the flying type there, and they're going to resist the crunch as well, obviously because of the fairy typing. Now I'm thinking that 2 moves probably still will KO this Togekiss, as it is Great League and everything is squishy apart from Bastiodon, of course. So we're going to go for the first crunch. They didn't get through a charm. Are we able to get up to the second one? We aren't able to. We die just 1 away, and we've not got enough health to take out the Togekiss with the Drift Blim. So that was tragic. Maybe if we actually had an optimized IV Carnivine, we would have had enough health there to survive and get off another crunch and take the win. So it shows, but you know, got to do what we got to do for content. So we're using whatever we've got. So we go into the next one, and it was a really bad lead. It was Frostlass. So Frostlass is not great for the team because we don't really have an answer to it. Lucario, I guess, because it's resistant ice, but obviously the counters are resisted, and they are going to outpace us there as well. So we go into the Carnivine just for the element of surprise. They might not know that we've got crunch. They did shield it up anyway, and we're able to get to another crunch, but it looks like they're going to look to shield us down. Shield us down? They're going to look to farm us down the whole way. Anyway, it was actually a CMP tie, so that worked out perfectly for us. Now we're going to come in with the Drift Blim and farm up a little bit of energy. I don't know if we should have come in with the Drift Blim, really. We probably should have come in with the Lucario. We may have actually been able to counter them down. I'm not 100% sure. But now we're going to be forced to throw some energy. And what we do, we're over farming, we're getting confident, thinking that we can farm them down, and they throw an Avalanche, and then bring in Lucario, and they got Toxicroak. So that was absolutely terrible. Don't know why we didn't throw the energy. If we did, we would have been fine there. So throwing away a win. So I left that in probably just as a lesson learned to you all. Don't be too ambitious there with your farming, because that was tragic. So anyway, we're winning into the next battle, and it was another Empoleon on the lead. So at least it's kind of neutral. They did shield it up, so obviously we're going to match shields, and we're going to look to get up to that second Shadow Ball. And this time we're going to throw it straight away, rather than over farming like we did last time when they were able to get off another move. So we learned from that mistake. And now they did commit their last shield, so we went straight into Lucario because we knew that we're going to be able to do some damage against whatever they bring in, even if it was something really bad like a Toxicroak or a Gastrodon. So it was actually Cresselia, so that's absolutely perfect. We're going to get off massive damage with the Lucario, and then we're probably going to just let this go through now and just see if we can close the game out with the remainder of Drift Blim's health and the Carnivine. So we probably will come in with the Carnivine actually. Interesting, because if they're able to get up to a Moonblast, it'll do a decent amount of damage. I think we're going to let this go through, and we were counting, and it was just a grass knot. So fair play there. Now we've got some loaded energy to go against whatever they've got, and it is that Drifblim. So this is what's really good about Carnivine. You've got a grass type that can actually do well against this flying type because of the ghost typing, taking super effective from that crunch coverage move on the Carnivine. So we were expecting they were going to make a swap, so we did save that energy and we made our own swap into Drifblim, but we weren't actually able to get up to the Shadow Ball, so now we're forced to use our shield against the Empoleon. So we're going to commit the shield and we should be able to get up to a crunch, but are we going to win CMP tie against the Drifblim? Like I said earlier, because this isn't the best IVs, we have actually got a decent attack stat, and I think that has helped us out once again. Not really sure on the attack matchup there, but I think that might have helped us out. It definitely does later on down the line. So that was a good battle, and into the next one we've got another Gastrodon on the leads. That's really good for this team. This was just a series of good leads that we went through, but later on in the video you will see some really bad leads, and they did not go particularly well. So I started out really well, but it did go downhill very fast, as is always the case in Go Battle League. So they did make a swap into Drapion, and it was a bite variant of Drapion, which you don't see too often, so really interesting there. So now we've got some stored energy to throw against the Gastrodon, and we're just going to go for that Shadow Ball, see if they want to shield it up. I'm always expecting them not to shield it up, but this time they do actually shield it up, and now they're going to make a swap into Skuntank. So really interesting, and not looking too great for us, because obviously both of the moves by the Carnivine are resisted. We had to make a swap out into the Carnivine, as this is another bite variant, so they're running double bite. Who's made a video on this? Oh, and they take us out just before we get to the move, and that's absolutely tragic, because we needed that chip damage by the Carnivine to have any chance of winning this match, and now an Icy Wind is not going to be enough to take out the Skuntank, so we're definitely going to go down here. And really interesting team that the opponent was using a double bite variant, Gastrodon double bite, so I don't know who's made a video on that, but very spicy, so I did like it. Not too bad to go down to that, but we could have won. So anyway, into the next battle, when we had another Gastrodon on the lead, and they swapped in Magnezone, so we come into Lucario, and we're going to be able to easily counter this thing down. We're obviously going to have to shield up the Wild Charge, as it's going to be taking out a lot of things in this game. And now we've got loaded energy to go against the Gastrodon. We've got so much energy, we're actually going to go for a power-up punch, which is actually very questionable, because if they don't shield it up, then that's quite risky. But they did commit a shield, so now we're going to be able to get up to a Shadow Ball and really threaten that second shield. Are they just going to let this go down now? They might do, yes they do. So once again, Lucario go mad. But they actually have an Abomasnow in the back, which is really bad for my back two Pokemon, as they're both weak to ice. But we're going to see if we can play our way out of this. Luckily, we're able to get to the Icy Wind before they get off a Weather Ball. Looks like we CMP tied there. So we do actually shield this up, and that's because we just want to put pressure on them and get another Icy Wind off. We should be able to survive a Weather Ball now that we've debuffed them the one stage. So let's see if we can survive it. So we do survive, and now that we've actually depleted their energy, we're going to come in with the Carnivine, as we should be able to survive a Weather Ball comfortably and get off a crunch to take them out. So we are able to get up to the crunch, and this should be sealing the win. So it got a little bit sticky there in the back with the Abomasnow. Oh, not able to take them out quite with the crunch. Crunch is such a shit move. But anyway, we were able to take the win there in the end. It got a little bit dicey with that Abomasnow, but we're able to see it out, and oh my god, it's Gastrodon again. I do swear to you, there are some lost leads coming up. It's not just all Gastrodon leads. But once again, they swap into a bite Skuntank. So really interesting how I'm seeing all these bite users all of a sudden. We do actually undercharge this power-up punch, and I think that's because we realised we're going to have to use a shield anyway. They probably were going to get to a move beforehand, but as you see, no, they weren't. So that was a bit of a silly call by me. We've had to use a shield now, but at least we've got a lot of extra farm to go against the Gastrodon once again when they come in. And we go for a power-up punch, which is crazy. I don't know why. We're not going to be able to get to another Shadow Ball, are we? Yeah, exactly. So I guess we're doing some damage on them, but it doesn't really matter anyway, because we're going to be able to farm them down the whole way with Drifblim, as they're doing no damage to us at all. But now that forces them to make a swap, and they've actually got a Drapion in the back, so it's the same team again, a Gastrodon, double dark, double poison. So now we're going to come in with the Carnivine. We debuffed their attack once, and once again it is a bite variant as well, so I reckon that someone has definitely put this team out there for us to see it twice. But luckily we do get a defense drop as well with the Carnivine. Obviously both of the moves are resisted, so that's really going to help us out, and we're going to be able to get up to we went for the crunch there, not the power whip. I think maybe I got worried that they were going to get to another move. I don't know why, but we should have gone for the power whip there. They would have done a lot more damage. They come in with the Gastrodon, and we really want to swap out, but we can't because the timer's not up. So we throw a crunch, and then we undercharge it completely so that we can come in with the Drifblim and get it off. And did you see that there? It just wouldn't let me swap at all. Why would it not let me swap? You could see I was hitting it. Maybe it froze there on their charge move for them, but you could see I was clearly tapping it. And they actually back out, so they mustn't have had a move with the Drapion. I was sure they would were just going to take us out with a move there. They must have been really far from another move because we wasn't even at the Icy Wind there, so really confident of the loss there, my opponent to back out, which I'm fine with. So into the next one, and it's a Drifblim mirror match, and they tried to swap out on an Icy Wind and catch with it Empoleon, so that's absolutely fine. We're now actually going to come in with the Lucario and farm them down the whole way, and then we're going to be able to get off a Shadow Ball against the Drifblim, which will no doubt come back in, and then we're going to be able to just claim back that shield that we had to use. So that is the really good thing about Lucario having that Shadow Ball coverage. It does so much damage against most things, and then against something like this, you've got the option to hit them with super effective. So now we're going to bring in the Drifblim, and I think we're going to have to shield this up, and luckily it is just a Shadow Ball. We're going to go for the Icy Wind. We've got a lot of energy on the Drifblim, but we're in a bit of a weird spot here, so they're actually letting it go through, which is not really great for us. I think we wanted them to use a shield. We'll make a weird swap out and catch the Shadow Ball on the Carnivine, which is really interesting, but we're in a bit of a weird spot now, and then they bring in Lucario and counter us down. We're going to go for an Icy Wind bait here. It's the only way we're going to be able to win it, but more than likely they're going to be able to get up to the Shadow Ball and take us out before we can get to the Shadow Ball, so yeah, that's really unlucky. And we just weren't able to play out there. Both times they were able to get some extra farm on the Pokemon beforehand and then get off that energy against us, so that was really unfortunate, but you can't win them all unless you've got Gastrodon in the lead. Oh my god, I don't remember me hitting all these Gastrodon leads. I don't remember it at all. But anyway, once again, they swap into Drapion. So this is such a common team. It seems to be Gastrodon and Drapion in the same team. So we've seen this before. We're going to come in with the Lucario, get off the power-up punch, and then look to count them down the whole way. We can take the two Aqua Tails as we've seen, but unfortunately they are able to get up to a third one. So we're going to have to commit that shield. So we're going to commit the shield now, and then we're going to get off the Shadow Ball as we've seen against the Gastrodon. So we've done this matchup quite a few times. I'm trying to bring you some varied content, but unfortunately the matchup seems to be all similar. And I've just noticed that somehow we don't have a Shadow Ball, so we're going to go for the power-up punch, and they don't shield it up, so that's absolutely terrible. Not sure what happened there and why we didn't have enough energy in that time round. I swear we played that same matchup, and both times we were able to get off the Shadow Ball, so really strange how things work out sometimes. Maybe they didn't have as much defense, so we weren't able to get up as much farm. Now they did actually stay in with the Gastrodon for a bit, and I think that's because they wanted us to get rid of some of our energy before they swapped into the Bastiodon. Now instead of going for the Shadow Ball, we actually went for the Icy Wind because we wanted to lower their attack for the Carnivine to come in and take less damage from them. It was a bit of a questionable one, but we were trying to bait the Shadow Ball, hoping that they would throw a shield, and they didn't, so really unfortunate. But now we're going to go for a crunch here, and they do shield it up, so that's really good, but we don't get the defense fall, which is really unfortunate. And now we're going to go for a Power Whip anyway, hoping they don't shield this one up, and they do shield it up, so that's really unfortunate for us. The Gastrodon comes back in, and it's going to be able to hit us with a neutral body slam. It does do a lot of damage, but we want to swap out and keep this Power Whip now, but the game won't let us swap. We were hitting it, you could see the box was pulsing there, but the game decided no, you're not allowed to make that play, and now we're looking in a really bad spot because we're not going to be able to take this out with a Shadow Ball, and they do have a move stored, so absolutely heartbreaking. They're going to take us out with a Stone Edge, and I don't think we would have been able to win that anyway because we was down to a really minimal health with the Carnivine, and I don't think a Power Whip would have taken it out. And into the next battle is another bloody Gastrodon. Honestly, I swear to God I don't remember these all being Gastrodon leads. But anyway, this is another Gastrodon into Drapion. How many times have we seen this battle? It's absolutely insane. So this time we're going to get off the power-up punch. They're going to shield it up, so that's a bit different at least. They may have played this matchup out a few times before and realised they can actually get to another Aqua Tail, but we were really lucky and we snuck through a counter when they threw that last one, so we're able to take them out and waste their shield, and now the Gastrodon comes back in again. We're going to go for the Shadow Ball and do a lot of damage, or they're going to shield it up. They do shield it up, so that's really interesting. And now we're obviously going to come back in with the Drifblim. And it's another Bastiodon in the back, so it shows why they shielded up the Gastrodon against the Lucario, because even with that low amount of health, it would have done a lot of damage against the big castle face there. So now we're going to see what the Carnivine can do against one of the tankiest Pokemon in the game. We're doing quite a lot of damage with the Vine Whip, which is nice, and let's see how much a Power Whip's going to do to it. So here we go. It does actually do a nice chunk there, so we should be able to take this thing out. We're going to go for another Power Whip there, and we deny them another Smackdown getting through, and it's just able to get them down right to 1 HP, and we Vine Whip them down. They bring in the Slug thing. Can we survive a Body Slam? Really hoping we can sweep with the Carnivine. Unfortunately we can't, but we come back in with the Drifblim and we go for an Icy Wind for whatever reason. I don't know why. I think we're just trolling them because they're making us play this game out rather than quitting and saving us some time. So maybe they have Water Pulse, but either way that still wouldn't be enough to take us out. and that's a GG's, and that's the final battle. So what a way to end it, the Carnivine taking out a Bastiodon. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. It cost me a lot of resources to make this, and I have spent a lot of Stardust actually this season just making content, but I wouldn't have it any other way. So until the next one, you stay angry, trainers.